Okay, so I didn't exactly flunk out of high school, but literally nothing is above 70% unless it was gym or music class.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Grade 9 English, a 62. Grade 10 Civics, 54. Ouch. Grade 11 Personal Finance, a 60, which is all I do and talk about now. Oh, and at one time, I tried to sophisticate myself with grade 11 World History, which I got a 57 in.
Bruh.
But with all of that being said, I'm here today, a self-made real estate investing multi-millionaire, and we did it at a pretty young age. I'm gonna share with you the 5 lessons I learned from being viewed as a loser in high school to what many people in society might view me now as a winner. So the first lesson that I learned from being in high school is that it's bad to fail or bad to make mistakes. If you fail on a test, that is very bad. If you fail on a project, that is very bad. The reality is, in the real world, if you want to become an entrepreneur or a business owner or a real estate investor like myself, failing is an absolute must. In fact, I fail almost literally every single day. It is the only way I can move forward. So a lot of people viewing my YouTube channel or viewing my social media might view me as a winner. I'm always winning, I'm buying all these properties, etc. But they don't see the daily failures all the time, which is what leads to me winning. Because if this marketing isn't hitting properly and it's not converting partners to me or to help me raise capital, no problem. We can change the video style. We can change the ad. Failure is an absolute must in life. And a lot of kids growing up in the school system are afraid of failure. They're afraid to make any mistakes because they'll get a D, they'll get a C, their parents will be mad. In reality, failure is really good. Why? It gets us closer to finding out what does work and what will succeed.
The only real music's gonna last. All that other bullshit is here today and gone tomorrow.
The second thing I learned is that you're not allowed to cheat in school.
Don't talk to anybody else, do the test, and let's see what you get.
But in reality, we're actually encouraged to cheat, and those who do cheat get ahead much faster. If I have an issue with an offer, I can call my lawyer right away. He can tell me, you wanna write this in the offer, you wanna do this. I get to call all the experts around me to find out the answers like this. If I have a problem getting financing, I can call my mortgage broker, my realtors, etc., etc., etc.
Does Light McQueen get car insurance or life insurance? Maybe he already saved by switching to Geico. I have 668 friends. Who are these people? And a company of soldiers relies on each other for survival. That today, a potential for making connections and turning these connections into something of value is limitless. The power of networking that our generation possesses is second to none. Well, according to Malcolm Gladwell, who cited Smith and Akers' book of The Dragonfly Effect, 80% of jobs are gotten through networking. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know. Let's network.
Now, if I'm in the middle of a test, it's not like I can go, hey Brad, what's the answer to this question? But in real life, I can ask Brad exactly what the question is, and those who do cheat, in a sense, they grow their businesses bigger and they get to live the lives that they want to live.
Perfect.
Now, the third lesson I learned is that there's no specializing in traditional school, and in the real world, you have to become a specialist to really get ahead. I need to become the expert, the specialist, the one that people trust who want to invest with me, whether you're selling products or services. If you can become the expert or become an authority, you will do very well in your business, which basically means people only want to work with other experts. Now, in primary school and high school, we're taught to just be a generalist, know a little bit about math, a little bit about reading and writing, a little bit about social studies. I don't care what happened in 1862 on October 2nd. It doesn't matter. It has no bearing on my life unless I really need to know what happened on that date. And again, going back to my other lesson, I can ask someone else what the answer to that question is, or I can just search it up on Google for that specific type of thing and just find out what it is. It leads people to become a generalist, floundering through life, and they become a worker bee, or they pretty much just become an NPC.
That most men live lives of quiet desperation. It's one of my favorite quotes ever because it's true. In this world where you just can't wait to just run away.
And how do people get stuck there?
Is a problem I'm gonna have to start worrying about now that we have a young son, but I will find some sort of schooling to teach him what he's naturally good at, which is what I believe, schooling should really be about. Number 4, academic success is the only measure of success. So in school, if you get an A, yeah, you got an A. If you didn't, pass, fail. Grading your brain or your memory, they're not grading you really on other factors such as your grit, your hustle, your conscientiousness. Those are all very, very important metrics as well that's gonna dictate your success. For example, like for me, I wasn't really too caring, or I couldn't have facts in my mind that I didn't really care. But like today, all these things that, you know, you wouldn't really be graded on in a normal school setting, but are really beneficial in real life. And just because you don't have it when you're a kid or when you're in high school, doesn't mean you won't possess those skills when you're adult, or that you can't learn them later if you really care about the topic that you're interested in.
Do you feel like you are successful?
Sacrificed so much for it already and dedicated so much of my time that I have to push it as far as I possibly can, because
I know facts about real estate investing. I know interest rate numbers. I know how to do basic multiplication, like really on the spot. Traditional academic success doesn't really determine if you're going to be successful in real life. So grade 12, we were filling out some forms right at the end of the year, and it was pretty much telling your guidance counselor in your school what your plans are. And I remember writing this thing out on the desk. Just can't wait to get out of school and be done. And it said, are you going to university with a checkbox, college with a checkbox, or other? Now for me, at that time, I knew I was going into construction. I absolutely loved construction throughout high school and doing all those classes. And we did like a home building class. It wasn't just like building stupid things in a shop class. We did like construction type things. And I knew I was going in that direction, but I knew I was going into trades for sure. I just didn't know what. But the fact that I had to write other, like I was some loser. Now, that being said, this was back in 2006. Back then it was so hardcore. University, college, or other. And I felt like such a shitty loser for having to check other. That's the whole thing, is that they're just creating more academics in school. Think this way, do it this way. There's no other way. You have to go to college. You have to go to university. Absolutely insane. And going off of that, the fifth lesson I learned is that they prepare you for a very specific job type. Which is usually a very, very left brain type of job. If you don't know what that means, left brain people tend to be very analytical, very mathematic, very cut and dry, black and white, STEM field jobs mostly. So if you have a kid who's very naturally left brain, they're probably gonna do very well and they're gonna love it. So my wife, for example, loves schooling, loves tests. She did her PhD, absolutely killed it, got grants like crazy. Her whole school was paid for and made a ton of profit from scholarships and grants. So she thrived in a schooling type environment, where someone like me, who's I would say more creative, more right brain, more entrepreneurial specifically, I absolutely did not do well in that type of environment. The sixth lesson I learned is that the schooling system really wants you to follow the rules to a T. But entrepreneurs and creative type people, we kind of just play outside the lines of following the rules. You're gonna have to blur the lines and sometimes go out of bounds to get somewhere quicker. There's a lot of cheat codes you need to do. And again, if you're in this schooling system, and again, my wife is a perfect example, and she says this all the time, she has a hard time going through life, go outside the lines, because she's so bred of like, no, you gotta do this. It has to be done this way. You can't break the rules. And there's me over here who's an entrepreneur, is like, I don't have time to friggin' wait. I gotta get over there quicker. I'm gonna cut this way, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. If you follow the economy, if you follow the news, if you follow politics, everybody's breaking the rules. Now, I'm not saying go break crimes like a lot of politicians and stuff like that, okay? But the people in charge of this country, in charge of the economy, they're not following the rules. And last but not least, number 7, the school system does not teach real world finance. I wanna learn how to do my taxes. And not just learning how to do taxes, because maybe some will share that in school and math, but how do I optimize on my taxes? What's a tax write-off? What's a 1031 exchange for buying real estate in America? I wanna learn those kind of things, and that's what kids should be learning. How does compound interest and growth work? What's the benefit of investing in real estate? What's a down payment on real estate? How does that work? How can I save up a down payment faster? What if I buy my home when I'm 23 as opposed to 43, and it appreciates at a 10% rate every year for those 20 years? How much money would I have? How much money would I have lost out on? These are all things that kids are not learning because they're learning about X equals Y and Pythagorean theorem and all this bullshit that doesn't matter for the vast majority of kids. Everybody has to pay taxes.
Nothing can be said to be certain except death and taxes.
So those are the 7 lessons I learned. If you want to learn more about investing in real estate or getting ahead in life, you definitely want to check out this next video.